All right, just make sure we're live. Oh, if we get some kind of notification, everybody will know.
Yeah. But I'm glad that the Ethernet works because I'm going to use it for my next panel.
Yeah, the Ethernet does work. Fortunately, we are able to get high-speed internet here.
Yay!
Thank you, EPB.
We did get it.
Thank you,
Yeah.
EPP. Oh, cool.
We're live. All right. So now that we've gotten the technical aspect out of the way, everybody get their outlines. We'll start by introducing ourselves from left to right.
I'm Amberlicious.
I'm Lonnie.
I'm Mark,
Clockwork Calamity.
and we are, of course, Untitled Nerd Network, sponsored by Infinity Flux right here in Hickson, Tennessee. If you haven't checked them out in the game room, do that before the end of the weekend because they are, and of course they've got their comic book stuff set up over in the vendors room. But we're here to talk what? Orville?
Yep, the Orville.
Quick shout out to Red Plumber, who's already in the chat.
Yeah, we were broadcasting live on YouTube, and
Mary's
so
also
they're
here too. Thanks, guys, for popping in on our panel.
yeah we're
Y'all could be here at Con Nooga.
so show of hands. Everybody here has watched the Orville, I'm assuming.
Yay!
Pretty okay.
Whole season? Okay.
Okay, cool. We don't have
Okay.
to worry about spoilers then.
Yep.
Yeah. So let me ask a question. Has anyone, because this is a controversy that's been going on online, and we'll get ahead out of the way before we get into episode, but has anyone here watched Discovery? Okay, no, you have? Okay. So are you in the camp of the Orville is better Star Trek than Discovery is, or do you think that Discovery is Star Trek as well? Like where do you stand on that?
I think Discovery is a little bit off the wall. I'm more enjoying the Orville more so than Discovery.
And see, I'm in the, well, like ignore that if you have to pay for it. Like let's say, because I didn't pay for Discovery. I'm sorry. I'm not. I have a friend of mine who have access to it, and he loaned me his code.
Does that classify you as a space pirate?
I don't know. Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Arr.
Cyberback.
I am a truist when it comes to my Star Trek, and I personally feel that the Orville is truer to the spirit of Roddenberry's vision than Discovery is. It's, like everything, and I think it was something that Seth MacFarlane said in an interview with William Shatner a couple of months ago that, here lately every vision of the future we get is like this dystopian, dark, bleak future, and Roddenberry's was the only one that was like bright and hopeful, and that's what he wanted to do with this, and I think he has succeeded beyond all measure. Yeah. Well, I mean, even with the I'll let somebody else talk, but we'll come back to that humor comment in a minute because I have a thought about that too.
Yeah, and I'll be completely honest. When this show came on, or when they first announced it, or they started running commercials, what was it? Was it the Super Bowl? Mm-hmm. It premiered right after the Super Bowl last year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they popped up. It was like, oh, check out the Orville, and it's going to be cool. And I was like, it looks promising, but honestly, I figured we would watch the first episode. It would be pretty good. Second, third episode, and then eventually that would be one of those ones that you DVR. Oh, I'll get to it, and then 6 months later you delete it and you never watch it. But no, for us, myself and Amber anyway, we started watching it. First, second, third episode rolled around. About the fourth episode, we were like, what was it? They changed the day.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we like popped up. Yeah, we're ready to watch. And
then it wasn't on.
Yeah, it wasn't on. It had actually come on like 3 days earlier.
Yeah, we're like, we missed it.
Yeah, and so I was like, So yeah, it's gone from being one of those shows that I really didn't have high hopes for. I mean, I like Seth MacFarlane. I love his brand of comedy, but I didn't think it would work. And it went from us being not really having high hopes to just
It's one of the best shows.
looking forward to it, almost like we do The Walking Dead or Game of Thrones. It's one of those can't miss shows every week. And I haven't watched Discovery, but I like.
That's what I hear, so I'm not worried about it.
I like the Orville as much, if not a little bit more than the Next Generation. And to me, the Next Generation is that's like the Star Trek that I'm more familiar with.
That's
So
the one we grew up on.
So I'm a little bit in an opposite camp of you. I don't like Family Guy at all. Like I like
love
Seth
Family
MacFarlane.
Guy.
Like I like Seth MacFarlane as a person. Like the first thing I ever saw of Seth MacFarlane's that I liked was the speech that he gave at Yale. He gave a speech at Yale, and it was an amazing speech. And he did a couple of voices and stuff, but just he gave a speech, and I was like, okay, that was funny. But I've never liked Family Guy, never have. So when they announced this series, the thing that got me through it was I knew he was a Star Trek diehard fan. Like he was a huge fan of Roddenberry's vision. Plus, he's the one that paid for Cosmos, like the new Cosmos series that's hosted by Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Yeah.
Seth MacFarlane paid for that. And so those two things got me past because I was thinking, okay, it's going to be Family Guy in space. And if that's what it's going to be, I'm not going to watch it.
Right.
In the very first episode, I almost stepped away from it because I thought that there was just too much humor in the first episode. But I've discovered as each episode goes on, it gets less and less. It's going from it's kind of like he hooked us with his humor, and then now he's putting pure sci-fi in. Yes, sir.
So what do you think about that, the parody angle? I know a lot of us thought that it was going to be Family Guy in space, and it turned out not to be. And some people are saying that they're at risk of being sued by Paramount and the owners of CBS because it's not enough parody.
That's the thing.
It's the craziest thing I've ever heard.
I don't think it's a parody. After watching the whole thing, I don't think it's a parody.
It's more of a
It's
tribute.
an homage.
Yeah.
It is an homage.
Definitely.
It's the best thing since original.
Yeah, and there are not enough intellectual property similarities for Paramount to even have a ground.
Yeah,
There,
that's my thought on it,
there's
too.
there's not. He even stuck true to like the original series was originally there wasn't ever supposed to be a transporter. It was supposed to be they were going to get a shuttle, go down to the planet, whatever. But it became financially better for them to do the transporter effects than to do the shuttle shots every episode. So that's why Seth went with the shuttles. That's all they have because that was what Gene originally, envisioned. And I like the fact that it's not Galaxy Quest. Galaxy Quest is a parody. This is an homage, I think.
Well,
Exactly.
I also feel like Seth MacFarlane's been in the business long enough to know when he needs to dot his I's and cross his T's.
Yeah.
No joke.
Yeah. I feel like that would not be a mistake he would make at this point in his career.
But
Yeah.
and I can't see anything in it that, and I'm a huge Star Trek geek. Like I can pretty much cite a good bit of the encyclopedia and the tech manuals. I can't see anything in there that is close enough to intellectual property for Paramount to even come out and say, "You're stealing our idea." Show me where.
Yeah, if that's
different
the
drive
case-
system. Okay, yeah, well, the bridge might look similar. Go away.
Yeah, because
Right.
Even the shape of the ship is different.
Oh yeah.
yeah,
And the drive is actually based on actual technology. It's there's people in what was it, Switzerland? Because I looked it up. I was like, because I'm a geek, and it's based on an actual drive that these people are trying to build in Switzerland or Germany or somewhere. Like the whole theory behind that drive is actual science.
I mean, you can't allow them to like sue somebody like the creators of the Orville and not sue every other
Rick and Morty?
spacefaring thing
Right.
with ships. I mean, you're kind of getting on a slippery slope with that. But yeah, we'll talk a little bit about the episodes and how they went on. And then, like, to kind of conclude the panel, I want to get predictions for season 2. And because they actually did announce season 2. They're not really in a hurry to make it happen because Seth MacFarlane has.
They started filming the other day.
Oh, they did.
Yep.
Good. I haven't.
Hey, all right.
The helmsman dude posted Scott Grimes. Is that his name? The actor that plays Gordon.
Yeah, Scott
Yeah,
Grimes.
He posted a picture on Twitter. It's like it's happening season 2, and it was them doing a table reading.
Oh,
So
yes.
Yay.
They're getting ready to go.
But they did say that season 2 will begin before the end of 2018. But Seth MacFarlane was quoted as saying probably not in the fall. But it may be before the end of the year, like maybe holidays or something like that.
That'd be kind of cool.
But yeah, the first episode just talk about introduction. You know, it did. It had a lot of that humor.
It did.
Oh, and by the way, we've done solid reviews on every single episode on our YouTube
Yeah,
channel, so if you get the
our
opportunity to
YouTube
check that
channel.
out. But yeah, the first episode, you got that where he catches his wife in bed with an alien, and you get to meet all of the characters, and they kind of
It was a
let
really
you know
good intro
that
show, if you ask me. They did really good with that.
they did a really good introduction.
Mm-hmm.
They made you care about the characters right away.
Right away, yeah.
And enough interesting, like, you know, Bortus being from an all-male civilization, and, you know, Alara being the youngest, you know, to ever get into her position there.
And her having a really strong.
Yeah.
I'm still one of my funniest recurring things is every time they get up on something that they can't break through or something, he's like, "Hey, Laura, I want to open this jar of pickles."
Yeah. Everybody
Yes.
keeps saying, everybody on the internet
Yes.
keeps saying they want him to actually hand her a jar of pickles. Like a real jar of pickles, and she can't open
Just
it.
once.
I have to say,
And she
Laura's
can't
one of my
open it,
favorite
like, you know.
We did learn a lot about her over the course of the season.
Yes. Yeah.
She's
that-
really developed as a character over the season. I really
That's
like
the other
her.
thing. There's been several characters like John, Bortus, Alara, even with Graydon and Mercer. There has been a lot of character development.
Oh, Lamar seen some because, you know, they found out he was really super
Yeah.
intelligent and he became the head
And
of
then I
engineering.
mean, like every character, like even the Doctor and the android dude
Oh, yes. Yeah.
who's not on your list.
Is he not on my list?
I
No.
can't believe you didn't put him on there.
He's not on your list.
I found myself kind of comparing them as to which character on Star Trek would they.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely.
it's easy to make that comparison. I can see that, but then like because a
Isaac.
lot of people are trying to say that Isaac is just a Data ripoff, but he's not.
No,
He
not
is-
at all.
He is
Not at all.
completely
I mean,
different from Data.
He might be inspired from that, but it's not
Yeah.
him.
You know, and the way that I've had people that I talk to look at it is this is like like when you look at the Enterprise from Next Generation, that's the flagship of the fleet. It's the cream of the crop. You know, the Orville is a mid-level exploratory vessel. It's, hey, we got some people. Here you go. Have a crew. You know, they're not the best. They're not the worst.
It
but
was
here's your
almost
crew.
like they just had, you know, they were like, "Look, you know, you wasn't our first pick. Just here's your ship. Ta-da!" You know? That's kind of how. I mean, that's exactly how it went in the very beginning of the episode.
Well, that's until we
Yeah.
find out later that she
And that
recommended
was.
him.
Oh yeah, you know, his ex-wife recommended him.
Yes.
You know, she
Yep.
had that political pull, and she recommended him to be the captain of the ship, and kind of orchestrated a lot of that. And he spent like an entire episode angry at her.
questioning him. Yeah.
Yeah, he was really upset about it at first, and then
Do they ever actually get back together?
They
They're doing the dance.
that's
They did
probably going to
kiss.
extend it. They did kiss, and it's going
they
to
did.
I think that's going to be
predicted
an
that
arc.
would happen this season.
I think that's going to be an arc for season 2.
Yeah.
They
I'm
almost
hoping they
seem-
get together in season 2. I'm not gonna lie.
I don't know. I think that's one of those things they're going to drag on till
I said
dang
I
near the
hope.
end of the series.
Well, I mean, didn't they make some like in the
No,
last
that.
episode? Didn't they make some some mention of how he told her it wouldn't work if they got back together? That it's better they stay this way.
I believe that was like I think that was more him just agreeing with her, not wanting to make a big scene. Where she said it, and he was like, yeah, sure. When in actuality, he doesn't believe a word of what he just told her,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's
more than likely.
But going back to the first episode, like I said, there was some humor that I was just like it was over the top. But what really kept me in that was the science, the science fiction parts of it.
Yeah.
Like and I will admit, as far as humor goes, Happy Arbor Day was just amazing. But you know, just that device that was able to do that, and how they explained it and how they demonstrated it, and then okay, here are these people wanting to steal it. That makes sense. And I think the thing that stood out to me the most was like when they were talking about the botanist. It's like we have this doctor that's a botanist. Like, oh, this is the planting studies. No, that's the doctor. I was like, okay, pure science fiction. Thank you. Happy.
Well, you know that device that they had that accelerated time. I think there's always that moment in a show, especially like the Orville, and you're watching the pilot. There's that one moment that clicks, and you're like, "Holy crap, this is for real!" And the part of that episode that showed me that this is a real show and it's not going to be all comedy was where the one person fell onto the table and their head aged and the rest of their body didn't, and it killed them. I was like, holy
legit.
crap.
That's legit, yep.
And I think
Yeah.
was it you that mentioned it one day we were talking about it? Like, what did that woman go through in that? Because for outside of that beam for 2 seconds, it was 2 seconds, but inside that beam, her body went through 100 years.
Her
And
head
she
did.
experienced that.
Her head
like,
went
her
through
mind
100
and
years.
body
Ugh.
experienced 100 years. Well, until it perished. That had to be torture.
If you like the,
Definitely.
if you like the, and this is kind of different, I'm kind of getting off track a little bit, but that's normal. If you like that kind of mind process, that thought, Stephen King did a short story called The Jaunt
Okay.
that is in the book Skeleton Crew, and it deals with teleportation, but if a conscious mind goes through the portal, their mind basically experiences billions of years of existence in a white void, and when you come out the other end, you're insane.
Okay. I have to look at it.
Yeah, something very similar.
So instead of going over every episode, let's just find out what everybody's favorite episodes were.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds good.
And then that way we can reference it back. So, like for you, sir, what was your favorite episode of the season?
I don't have a favorite. I enjoyed them all.
Really? So there's not one that you're just like,
Did you have any favorite moments? Maybe.
I like the little digs that the captain gives to his ex-wife.
Yes.
I thought, and I was glad they kind of sort of phased that out as the season went through too, because at first it was becoming, okay, is he not going to let this die? And
Right.
and I mean,
He
I've
had
been
such a
through
hard
that.
time.
I've been through a divorce where my wife cheated on me, and I'm just like, at some point in time, you've got to let go. And I was just like, every time he brought it up, I was like, dude, okay, shut up.
It's
We
been a
know.
year.
She slept with a blue dude. We get it. We know.
already understand it. You almost did the same
I like how they
thing
came back
Yeah.
to
in
that.
the first episode.
I like how they came back to that when he showed up on the ship, the blue guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I'll tell you
I
what, by
like
the time
that.
he showed up, I had completely forgotten about him. And then suddenly he pops up. I'm
And-
like,
Yeah, and they were kind of sort of back on a mending path, and then boom, there he is, and you're just like, oh my god. shoot.
But
that is a good story.
it's a very good story because it brings to light that just maybe it really was just a moment of weakness because he was putting off the pheromones.
Your reaction to a
Well, yeah,
chemical.
Yeah.
The very first episode, they talked about that. They established, maybe it wasn't really, your fault. And, he was having some weird struggles with attraction to him as well.
Yeah.
Still waiting
Right.
for a whole season later.
Well, I think that was that plot twist that really, I think, kind of came full circle and showed that, hey, maybe these two can get back together.
Yep.
Maybe it wasn't anybody's fault. Maybe it was just some weird hormone going on that was in the air. And, hey, we're...
Yeah. Yeah. So, what about? So, have the kids watched it? Have the kids watched it?
I think it was after their bedtime.
Okay. So, what about y'all two? What was y'all's favorite episode?
I didn't have a favorite episode. I like that. It was that moment in that episode when it was like, oh, wait, maybe she really wasn't responsible.
Yeah.
Because I want to like her, but she.
Yeah, because she has good intentions.
So
She
like,
does.
It wasn't her, entirely her fault. That was mine.
Okay.
So I like this.
Sir in the
Everybody
back.
like the series.
I think my favorite episode would have to be the generational ship they find in space. But
Oh yeah. Should the stars appear?
Yeah.
what I like more
Should the
about the
Stars Appear
entire
was a
series
really good episode.
is the natural real life crew interactions. Can we wear shorts on the bridge?
Yeah.
Can eat anything? Those kind of things that would really happen, we have not seen on Star Trek before.
Yeah.
Right. And which again goes
That's a
back
good
to.
point, you know.
Those
What-
are the things we ask our employers that have never been on Star Trek.
Yeah, it goes back to this isn't the flagship of the fleet. This is Joe Friday of the fleet. I like that. For me, I think my favorite episode was About a Girl, because it was, again,
That was a good one.
harkening back to Roddenberry would take, social and political themes that were going on at the time, and he would interject them into Star Trek. Seth MacFarlane just crammed that one right down our throat and did an amazing story with gender identity, which is which is clearly an issue that's going on in the real world right now. And he just went, you know what? We're going to make a statement. Here it goes. It doesn't matter, and that was great. I thought that was an amazing episode, and that was for me where the series. I was like, this series is serious. They're done. They're done being funny. Yeah, they're gonna have humor in it, but they're done being funny.
That's when I started worrying about lawsuits.
Yeah.
When I said this is not Family Guy. This is the best show on TV. And
Yep.
when they realize it's better than Discovery, they're gonna be mad.
Yeah, and that was a question. I think you walked in after. Have you seen Discovery?
Every bit of it.
Okay.
Star Trek, I watch it. I don't care how bad.
So, are you?
Dedicated.
Do you like it?
I like it if they somehow explain why it does not totally destroy the timeline.
Yeah, it's an alternate timeline. It's an alternate timeline. It has to be an alternate timeline because they have. See, for me, and we're on a completely off the topic of the Orville at this point. We'll talk after the panel, but it's an alternate timeline for me because they have technology. And I'm not talking about the set designs and everything. Okay, I get it. You want to update it and make it look cooler. But the Enterprise, the Constitution class Enterprise, did not have force fields on their doors.
Yes.
This ship does. It has technology they didn't have 10 years later. It's an alternate timeline.
Yeah, alternate timeline
You know.
explains it all. And I'm okay with it. It's a darker.
It's Abrams verse 2.0 to me.
But I don't like the new movies. I mean, I watch them.
I didn't either. Yeah. But so you're in the camp that the Orville is truer Star Trek than Discovery.
Truer than maybe any Star Trek we've ever had.
I put it up there like Lonnie does with Next Generation.
I love Next Generation, but Orville is still real.
Yeah.
It is. It's stuff that would happen in real life.
It is. It's organic.
It's
Yeah, it's stuff you can.
It has the
relate to.
less of the military feel that Star Trek had, because Star Trek still had that rank and file military feel to it, and it's less of that than what Star Trek was.
Star Trek problem as far as we're out here to explore the universe. We're like him.
Yeah.
That was my problem. This is a personal thing for me. Even though the characters were well developed, in most of the Star Trek stuff, they're not people I would like to know. I mean, I would like to know them, but they wouldn't be my buddy.
Okay.
I wouldn't go
And
out with them.
yeah,
But these
totally
guys,
get that.
okay, you're
Well, and also-
What?
Yeah,
You can
because
attach
they
to
are
the
more
characters,
personable.
like, you feel like you get to know them.
And the other thing for that is, I think in the Orville, what the Orville is doing really well that Star Trek didn't do, like the original series pretty much focused on the primary three: Spock, Kirk, and McCoy. Every now and then, but nobody really got Scotty every now and then, but very rarely did anyone else get a story arc. With the Orville, I think every episode this season, or at least every primary character this season, has gotten their own story arc, and they're doing
about it,
really
yeah.
good at making sure that they that they flesh out every single one of these characters. And the other thing I love about it is all the people who worked on Star Trek who are working on this, like Jonathan Frakes, Robert Picardo, like a couple of the directors. I think Berman was involved with one, and a couple others. It's like all these people that were on Star Trek, the Star Trek that I liked, are working on this. And I'm like, okay, I'm loving this.
Patrick Stewart is going to be on the show.
I would love to see that.
That's
I
great.
don't he's mentioned it, but I want to see what they're going to do. Are they going to make him an admiral? I personally think it would be really great if they cast him as like some sort of rogue captain.
They have to be careful. They can't make him.
Yeah, no, I want them to make him like a space pirate who was a planetary officer and just took his ship and his crew and just went rogue. And like they send the Orville to go try to find him or something. That's what I want to see. Or they stumble across him as he's like trying to board them, and I'm talking full on space pirate. He comes on the ship with a sword, and just trying to take everybody out.
What was it, the episode? I was talking about like funny parts, favorite parts. Probably this is crazy, but my favorite part of the whole season, just my little scene, was when Mercer was talking to I guess the fleet commander or whoever. And she was just, riding him up one side and down the other, just, oh, you need to do this, da-da-da. And so he was like, okay, Mercer out. And he's like, mew, 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 mew. And like, she's still on the screen. And he's like, oh, crap.
And she's like, what was that?
I forgot about that.
That was a good one. So does anybody have a favorite character? so far. I mean, we've talked about how we like it. So apparently none of us have none of the majority of us have a favorite episode. So
I have a
does anybody
favorite episode.
Oh, wait, sorry, go ahead.
You what's yours?
Mine is Into the Fold, where Isaac goes with a doctor.
Oh, that
to
was a good
study
one.
them. And I like how later on, like, he's starting to bond with the kids and stuff. I think that's
That
so
was a
cool.
good one, and and I like the fact that they carried that over into later episodes where the kids run into him and they're all like Isaac, and he's like, "Hello, children," you know.
My favorite part with Isaac, though, is on Priya, where he amputates Malloy's leg as a joke. He's like, it's funny.
Oh, he like spends part of the episode walking around with a half-grown
With, like, a
leg.
half-grown leg. Great.
Like as far as mine, I had like 2, and then I realized, holy crap, I missed one. Like Majority Rule, where like the entire planet's done by social media, and about a girl, that offered like that philosophical question. But one I completely forgot about, and this is my favorite episode, is the Krill episode, where Mercer and Malloy are trying to get that religious text, and then come to find out they have the bomb, and they find out there's children on board, and they completely go against the entire mission to save the children. And then because they killed everybody else on the ship, the children are resenting them, and so it's just like a constant loop of just crap that they have to deal with. No matter what you do, you can't do anything right because yeah.
Yeah, and again, it was that social commentary. It was like, these are the people we're fighting, but we're trying to save their kids, and the kids hate us because we killed their parents. And okay,
It's a lot for children to process.
Do you have a favorite episode, Clockwork?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of political statements made throughout the series, and
I didn't want to
that's
leave you out.
good. That's how Seth MacFarlane is. It did get to a point, though, where about the 3rd episode, where it was social commentary in a row, when we did reviews, I was just like, I'm done with this. Like, I need a break. Like, I agree with everything. It's just I need a break. Television, watching a show, that's my break from reality. I really don't want to deal with that.
Maybe that's why you enjoyed Into the Fold so much, is because that episode was the break
It was.
from the constant social
yeah,
commentary.
when you look at it was.
But that was also really good. The fact that you watch a robot kind of develop a little humanity too.
Yeah.
I like that thought.
And it was interesting because that Majority Rule episode ended up being one of the highest rated episodes of the season.
And that was like my least favorite.
Yeah, it was. Because it was the first one back after the break.
Yeah, they had a
That was
1 week
my
break,
least
and
favorite.
that's one thing. I almost felt like Fox was trying to sabotage this show because
By moving
it
it.
started out on Sundays, and then a couple weeks later it went to Thursdays, and then it was like, holy crap, we got to take a break. We're going to take a break of a week, and then a couple weeks.
Well, they took breaks because of baseball, I think.
I know, but it was like what, World Series, and
They were trying to say something. He also did not get his finale. That's going to be the first show of
Well,
this
that's
season.
true.
Yeah, because it was
They
supposed to be
did
13 episodes, and they cut it back to
an
12.
episode. Yes.
Yeah, so they cut him an episode, but I love the fact that we've proven that a good fans like it sci-fi show can survive more than one season on Fox. Because
Good.
and it didn't go. And I hope to God that he has Seth has the wherewithal to reach out to Nathan Fillion and people to get them to guest star in this season. That would just be, I would love it. Just to kind of sort of stick it in the face of Fox and go, these people want to see these people on screen, and y'all screwed up,
The show stays alive, it will be Seth MacFarlane.
Yeah. Oh, it is. I mean, he's the drive. And I have to, as much as I said I don't like Family Guy, I think that he has the clout he has at Fox because of Family Guy. Because Fox knows Family Guy is one of their cash cows. I can't think of another Fox show off the top of my head right now.
right now anyway.
Like,
Maybe
besides the
Simpsons
Orville, but
10 years ago.
Yeah, but right
Yeah,
now
a lot
it's
of
Family
old
Guy.
stuff,
So I think that he has that clout to be able to do that, to be able to go, I don't think y'all really want to cancel this,
Well, I mean, at the same time, the ratings are there because, I mean, it's not pulling. Here's the thing. The Orville is not pulling in a lot of initial viewers. I mean, they're pulling in 3.3 to 4.1 million viewers live. But when you factor in DVR numbers,
And
those
Hulu
numbers
numbers.
are doubling. So people are like, you know, we watch it online. We watch it on Fox.com. And, I mean, that's crazy because those numbers, you could tell that this is not one of those, like, I like it that they're finally factoring in that not everybody watches live TV anymore. We have, like, literally, we watch, maybe close to a dozen shows over the course of a year, like different titles. But we
But, like,
watch
one or two are live.
maybe 5 of them live.
We watched The Orville,
Yeah.
The Walking Dead, The X-Files,
Yeah.
Game of Thrones.
Uh-huh. That's all we watch live.
That's it. That's all we watch live.
For the commercials, that's the way I'll go.
Yeah.
I could think of when the last time I even had cable to watch a live show was.
Yeah, I just recently
To be
cut the
fair,
cord
we're
last year.
using
So
Sarah's cable login to watch it online. So
sorry?
there you go.
Never watch anything.
yeah.
They don't
Yeah.
just look at those numbers.
And no, that's what Lonnie was saying. Like they've
Yeah.
actually started ratings are starting to take into account. Okay, these people watched it live,
I
but
believe
these
it's-
many people logged into our website or logged into Hulu to watch it or logged into their DVR to watch it.
I think it's like the first 48 hours.
yeah, it's how many people watch it within the first 48 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I really am happy that, you know, they're taking that into account, and the Orville is doing very well. It's not just one of those, oh, you know, it's just barely scraping by. No, it's one of the top rated shows on Fox right now, and that's
Yeah, no, like it even beat Gotham a couple of weeks.
yeah.
So, and that's there's another Fox show. Hey, yeah, I forgot they had Gotham. Because Gotham is easy to forget. Sorry.
haven't watched any. I'll be
stopped.
honest,
I
watched
stopped
the
watching
first
it after season 1.
And
It's on my to
I
watch
just
list.
didn't.
I'm sorry.
Is it?
Yeah, it's. I don't know. I
I mean,
love
I liked
the
it. I
the
just
only
haven't sat down to watch it.
the only thing I like about that
That's
show is their penguin
Oh, he's.
and their
amazing.
Riddler. Their Enigma is pretty good, but their penguin and their Enigma is good, but everything else is just pure garbage.
Yeah, I was gonna tell you
Nah, it's not nice just because you don't like something to call it garbage.
what. Onto the Orville.
Sorry, I do Lonnie that way too.
Okay.
They
Are you called Lonnie garbage?
what?
Well, if he wanted me to, I guess. That's a whole nother conversation.
We're another
There's
funny
children
part.
present.
Sorry.
The ongoing joke that they've had where the guy meets them in the elevator, and it was like, hey, you know, you think we might ought to put elevator music in here? That's been like an ongoing joke for a while. Didn't they eventually put?
Yeah,
music?
he put it because Mercer told him, said, yeah, why don't you take charge of that? And then the next time they got in the elevator, there was music, and he was like, oh, this is good. You know?
That all happened in the very first episode.
It was like one of the first 3.
Yeah.
I think.
What?
All right, disclaimer: I've seen the first episode
But-
because I'm horribly behind on all of
Was
the
it-
television.
Was
It
it
was all in
there?
the first episode.
Hey,
I
spoiler
promise.
warning. No.
Wasn't there like a part in one of the first? Oh, this might have been later on in the season, and it's one of those. The one thing I like about the Orville so much is it's those real life situations, that awkward junk that happens to you, like, you know, every now and then that you're like, you know, this would make a great TV show. Whenever Mercer and Grayson, you know, were having their exes spat, and they carry it onto the elevator, and there's like somebody in there,
Yeah.
and they're just having to stand there in just awkward silence while they're riding up the
That's
elevator.
so real life.
And you know, the guy notices, you know, like, oh yeah, everything. All
So
right.
that was where he was like, you know, we should put some music in here.
Yeah.
You know?
Great.
Well, listen, guys are having parenting problems. Bring a new baby into a relationship.
That was
Outrageous.
that, and again, that goes back to why that was just my favorite episode, because number 1, it was the character development episode for Bortus, and number 2, it was that social commentary. But you know, now we have their son. No wait,
Yeah, it's their son.
yeah, and you know, but and then we found out that, you know, we even got some character background on Clyden, that he was gender reassigned, and that was just like, holy crap, that was just like a pretty deep episode.
It was probably.
And it was a really good episode.
When
Oh yeah, where
he
they're
holds the baby and he's like, I need you here. You're going to work all the time.
yeah, oh yeah,
Yeah.
just
that's
the
real life.
yeah, it's real life. It's
That's
like,
real
why are you
life.
always, you know, blah blah blah. I have to go to work. And then when they get up on the bridge, like everybody's like, "What's wrong with you?" He's like, "I don't discuss it," you know. You know, just,
Or the scene where Mercer went up there to play the game with them, and they were like tossing that ball back and forth, and the knife goes through his hand.
yeah.
Yeah, it was great.
It goes back to not being the cream of the crop. Like when they're talking to the one guy on the screen, and then the screen goes off, and it's like, did anybody else notice the dog licking his balls? It's like,
Yes. Holy crap! That was like the background thing. That was the thing that I noticed immediately.
and then like when the Krill held him, and he's like, hey, could you step to the? You're a little out of frame. Can you step? You're distracting.
That is the stuff that would happen if you placed people from this time into the year, what is it, like 2400 or something?
I think, they're doing it to make it relevant. I think I could do without the pop culture references.
We got 10 minutes.
And
Okay.
The next panel is my panel. We can go over a little bit. But
Oh, that's funny.
all I'm doing is streaming a cartoon, so yeah, it'll be good. The 1960s Captain America series.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm just going to plug the computer up and plug the TV up and let it go.
Sweet.
But yeah, I mean, I've been as a diehard Star Trek fan, I've fallen in love with this show, and I hope it gets more than 2 seasons. I hope it gets 3, 4, 5. I hope it goes as long as Next Generation, if not longer, because it's just been amazing. You can just tell Seth loves.
Yeah. It's a labor of love, not a...
sci-fi. Which is why Mercer is my favorite character of the show. I think he's just, you can see that he has a love for his job and he loves what he's doing, but yet he's got all these obstacles in his way and he's still trying to find ways to overcome them.
Now, what do you, I want to, the last few minutes, talk about predictions for season 2. Now, one thing that I want to cover in regards to that, there was actually plans, and I think this would have been the most horrible idea on the planet. He was wanting to do a crossover with Family Guy.
No, he was not.
2. He wasn't?
No, he was not. The writers of Family Guy submitted a script to him.
Yeah, it was submitted.
And he turned it down. He said Family Guy is its own thing. It needs to stay that way. However, I'm not saying no.
Okay, because
I read an article because when I saw that in your notes, I went and looked it up.
Okay.
Because I was like, no, because I've seen 2 interviews with him about that, and he's like, no, Family Guy is its own thing.
Because I knew there was a script made
Yeah.
and it was turned down, but I didn't know who
The
did
people
what.
of Family Guy wrote the script, and they gave it to him, and he was like, Family Guy is its own thing.
Can we all agree that would have been a pretty horrible idea?
Yeah,
Because a lot of people,
yeah.
as he's been doing the talk show circuit, a lot of people have asked him, are we going to see Peter Griffin on the show, or is this, that, and the other? And he's like, Family Guy is its own thing. It needs to stay over there. The Orville is its own thing. It needs to stay over here. He goes, however, if someone were to give me a script that I liked, I'm not saying it couldn't happen, but I doubt it.
Yeah, I see no...
Good on him, though.
Yeah.
Because,
Yeah.
I mean, like we were saying at the very beginning, that's kind of what everybody was concerned about, is that it was going to be Family Guy in space.
Yeah, had this been Family Guy in space, I wouldn't be in this panel.
Yeah.
That's what they call
Right.
that would be what they call a classic jump the shark moment.
Yep.
That would be, okay, I'm done with the Orville now. But now, season 2 predictions, and this is like my core prediction, the one that I've gone with since episode 5. And I actually thought it was going to happen before the end of this season, but it didn't. I think that we are going to see Mercer on some kind of damaged ship or something, or in some kind of horrible situation that is absolutely inescapable. The ship's going to explode, a planet's going to explode or something. Everybody's going to mourn the loss of Mercer, and come to find out he is still alive because he has the teleporter that Priya left behind in episode 5. And then after they find out he has it, they're going to implement teleportation technology that was brought back from the future.
And then Paramount will sue them.
And yeah, and it'll be, I really think that's what, because he put it in his desk at the end of the episode, and it hasn't been mentioned since. It will come back, and I'm pretty sure teleportation will become a thing, and it's because it was brought back from the future. That's my go-to prediction for season 2.
I can get behind you all the way up to implementing it fleet-wide, because
He's not going to be able to keep it a secret.
Again, maybe it breaks after that or something, but
or maybe he'll destroy it.
That'll get too close to Paramount being able to find a way to sue them.
I agree with Mike on that.
I mean, I do like it as a Deus Ex Machina to get him out of that one issue, but to implement it fleet-wide, I think...
You think maybe it'll be like a morality thing? He won't want to change the future, and he'll destroy it or something to keep it from getting into everybody's hands?
Something, but I just don't see them implementing it. For me, second season, like I said, I'm hoping that he finds a way to bring the Firefly cast into it. that would be great as guest stars. I mean, hell, if you can land Liam Neeson, you know, you shouldn't have a problem landing. You know,
Just don't bring Summer Glau.
yeah, no, leave her alone.
They could almost have a crossover.
She's been
Everything that she's in dies a
well,
horrible
they might.
death.
Because Fox owns it.
But no, well, yeah, that's They could actually have him
God,
playing
I should
Captain
not
Mal.
have planted that
Oh
seed.
God. So, but no, for me, for season 2, I think that we're going to get hopefully a little bit more backstory into the Planetary Union and how it was formed. I think we might start fleshing out more, you know, more races and stuff. And I really hope that I see them doing more exploration. You know, like that's what I'm looking for, because they're a mid-level exploratory vessel, and that was one of the things that I didn't like about Star Trek: The Next Generation. They were always in the Federation. They very rarely were outside of the boundaries, going, "Hey, this is a new planet. No, this is this such and such planet that was discovered 50 years ago. We're just here to check on them. You know, let's go find a new planet."
Do you think we'll actually see an all-out war between the Federation and the Krill?
Maybe if we get to a
Maybe.
season 3.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't think that's
I
a
mean, you know,
season
they
two
could
thing.
plant more seeds for it between, you
Yeah.
know, for season 2.
Yeah.
I like
I
the
think
fact that
that's a
we
season
have the
3 thing.
Krill as like this, you know, you know, keeping the Star Trek parallels, Klingons, Romulans, whatever you want to parallel them to. You know, but they, you know, and again, their own social commentary. They're, you know, religious zealots who are, you know, out to kill, you know, the Planetary Union. So they
The
are
Krill.
they're a very good social commentary on the, you know, the jihadist Muslims. You know, it's just boom, here it is, right in your face, but we're going to disguise it with a whole bunch of makeup. Yeah, but I just hope that I see more development, more character development, more backstory, more lore. I'm all
Yeah, I
about
can't
lore,
wait
more
to
lore
see,
development.
Like what happens with Lamar.
Yeah.
Since they know he's like super intelligent, I can't wait to see him really develop as a character.
Yeah, being the chief engineer,
Yeah.
I think he'll get more of a pronounced role.
Yeah, and I can't wait because I really like him.
I do too, and I like that. Like once you get him away from Malloy, he actually is like him
Yeah.
and Malloy together. I kind of sort of get that. That's where I start to get that too much humor, too much comedy thing, and you split them apart.
But it's
and-
true,
and-
though. That's how some like a couple of guys
Yeah.
get together, and you've got like the one really
And
intelligent.
that's real life. That's not just humor.
Yeah, it's like
that's real life.
You've got
Yeah.
that like really intelligent guy who is going to excel and stuff, and you've got old college buddy over here who still drinks and parties and does stupid pranks on people, and like I don't want to say that person is holding the other guy back, but
it can happen
that dynamic is a real thing that you see.
all the time.
You probably see here in these halls. So
Right.
Anybody out there got a prediction for season 2, or a wish, like what you want to see?
I also want to see Mercer and Grayson. Like I want to see
Oh,
them
yeah.
get back together. Obviously.
that started out as the core storyline of the series,
Well, I
and it's
wouldn't
almost
say that's the core storyline, but it was very prominent. Yes.
yeah, it was one of like the top 3.
And then for a little while, they didn't even talk about it.
Yeah,
Yep.
it just
Thank God.
disappeared.
And then it was.
So y'all don't have any like wishes, hopes? We hope we get a season 3.
Just don't, I've got season 2 looking through.
Yeah.
I don't really want to see the Grayson.
You know.
Yeah.
Laura with Grayson, and that's
Yeah, everybody talking about shipping. Everybody ships him and Laura.
I should
I ship that in a heartbeat.
I don't know about
Because
that.
there's a couple of episodes, Laura has a crush on him. Like there's
Yeah.
a couple of episodes because
Well, yeah,
there's
I mean,
the one
she's
where
young, and that's her captain.
I think it
yada,
was
yada,
in
yada, but-
I think it was when if the star should appear, where her and Grayson are walking across that field and she's asking him all these she's asking her all these questions about Mercer, and it's those questions that it's
She's an
almost like, do you
inquisitive
think he
person
likes
in
me?
general, though.
Do you think
can't really say that. She's a really inquisitive person because she's young and she wants to learn. She's
I
very
bet
eager to learn.
That dynamic of Alora and Grayson are friends, and Alora starts dating Captain.
That would
That's
be a
gonna
good story
cause
arc.
Yeah.
You can see the excitement on people's faces out there.
But yeah. I asked the who do you ship who with question in the Supernatural panel last night, and the whole panel just stopped talking. So
Well, I can't discuss Supernatural.
yeah, no, it's more Dean and Cassio.
Yeah, so let's not discuss the Supernatural anymore because we're only 8 episodes in
We're
now.
like 9 episodes in the
Oh,
first
okay.
season.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Who-
We're
so-
working on it. We're working on it.
who Who thinks that there's going to be something coming really awkward out of the whole Yaphet doctor thing, and the fact that when
We've
she was
already
under,
had that.
It's already been there.
well, no, because the very next
that was
episode,
pheromones, and she was just like,
yeah, there was the
"Ah."
pheromones thing, and then like since that episode, they've interacted with each other, but nothing's been said.
Well, she did say, hey, there's nothing between us, drop it. Kind
Yeah,
of
she-
something along, but it was
yeah,
just very
something
brief.
along
She was revolved and in control and in charge of herself, so she was like, okay, that happened and it's done.
And
Yeah.
I like the doctor too. She's
I like her,
pretty
yeah.
cool.
I liked her answer about the kids, because I was asked about the kids. I wanted kids, so I have these 2 kids.
Yeah.
Discussion.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that was pretty cool.
She's like, I wanted them, and I decided to have them.
It was like,
Which was
because,
really great social commentary. I really liked that one. Not a lot of men want to speak on women's choices. That was great.
Yeah. Oh, Seth is all about that.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
huge on that. But and the other thing about that episode is when you see that doctor that do no harm, oh wait, my kids are in danger, I will shoot you. I don't care. Do no harm. I don't care. Get out of my way. I will kill you. Let me get to my kids. And I think anybody who's a parent can pretty much, identify with that in a heartbeat.
There's no harm on the operating table, everything else is over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
all right, well, we are about 10 till. I know you've got something else
You got a
coming
couple
up.
minutes.
But
You-
I know.
He's
But
got interviews to do today.
yeah, we have
Fine.
interviews and stuff like that. If you get an opportunity, we will be at tables W43 and 44. Basically, right when you walk into the exhibitor hall, turn right, and we're right next to
Go
the
past the
guy.
Universal Studio guy, and
Yeah.
we're right there.
We're going to be right there. For you guys, if you're interested, we have our YouTube channel, which we're broadcasting on right now, Untitled Nerd Network. Drop by, let us know that you came to this panel, and we'll give you an extra entry on top of the one you'll already get for subscribing into our Nintendo Switch drawing. And we're going to be drawing that once
When
we
we get to 1,000
1,000.
subscribers, and we're getting close to 900 right now.
Yeah, we got about 80 subscribers over the course of this weekend, and
we're about to break 850.
Yeah.
Okay.
We were 842 this morning.
Oh wow! So there was a guy that was in one of our panels the other day, and every time I run into him, he updates me on where we're at.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, like he was in our first panel we did the other night, and we told him about this, and like every time I pass him in the hall, he goes, "You're at about 840," and I'm like, "You're watching it?" He goes, "Yeah, I'm watching
yeah,
it."
He wants
So-
to switch, man.
I'm kind of excited about that,
Great.
but
Love it.
yeah, definitely. And if you tune into the show, tell us what you like, what you don't like, what you'd like to see us do.
yeah, we do a little bit more than the Orville. We do video game streams.
Comic books.
Comic books. We do, like, basically right after the credits roll on live shows, The Walking Dead,
I mean, I'll be honest,
X-Files.
that's the whole reason we watch live shows. We want to be first to do reviews on them.
Yep. As soon as those credits roll, we're up there live, taking commentary in the chat.
Which
And,
is always fun.
You know
all
what
that
you should
stuff.
do? You should start doing it to where like the opening scene when you start the episode is the credits rolling, and then after the credits rolls, it cuts to you and Amber.
Like stream the credits.
Yeah, stream the credits, and then cut
God,
from the
that's too much
credits to you and her.
I don't know about that.
It's a nice thought.
That'd be
Yeah.
cool.
But yeah, we are actually going to be doing not live interviews, but we'll be doing interviews at our table with Night Mage and Super Casey. They're right outside here. They're at a table.
Yeah,
Really
we're
cool
at a table in
people.
the hallway.
Thanos running around yesterday, and the female Loki. Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's them.
And they're really good friends of ours. We're going to be doing an interview with them. And then we are also going to be doing an interview probably around the 1 o'clock hour with John and Hope of Dark Princess Theater.
Oh, yeah, I love them.
They're really good friends too. We had dinner with them last night, actually. Really awesome people. So if you get a chance to drop by their table and check them out as
And we're
well.
gonna do Captain and Maybell, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
I've got to interview them.
Yes,
They're
yes.
amazing.
Yeah.
We got them too.
The
And,
Sword Swallower,
Yep.
the sideshow act, they're amazing.
Could I be part of that?
They're intense. They give me anxiety.
almost made me
Show.
sick seeing him put that sword all the way.
When he did
I just like his
Seven,
showmanship. I love his showmanship.
He's really,
Yeah.
he's a really
So
good
I've
showman.
seen sword swallowers do a single sword and then twist it. I've never seen anyone swallow 7 swords and then twist all 7 of them.
That was crazy, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I've seen a
Thought I
lot
was
of weird
gonna vomit.
sideshow stuff.
So at any rate,
Yeah, let's wrap the stream. And then,
Yep. But anyway, appreciate everybody in the live chat
thank
for
you for
joining
coming.
us.
Thank you for watching.
Panda Cinema says hi.
Hi.
Hey, Panda.
They made it right on time to get that
Bye.
last little thing.
Hi,
in.
Panda. We're leaving.
Thanks, Red Plumber and Mary, for dropping by and on us. We appreciate that. We appreciate everybody that came today. Thank you.